one thing we'll add to that today, that if you have an open circle, you're gonna use a parentheses for interval notation. And if you have a bracket, you're gonna use, if you have a closed circle, you're gonna have a bracket. Okay, and then always use parentheses, with infinity or negative infinity. Okay, because if you think about what infinity and negative infinity are, those are numbers that can be contained. Okay, so that's what the parentheses is representing. All right. So let's look at some problems here. We'll start off number one. Number one starts off where we have to distribute. Okay, we worked on that with equations. We've had a bell work that was specifically on distribution and that property. Okay, so we're going to continue working on that skill today. Okay, so you got 4 times x, which is 4x. Okay, you got 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, and then you've got greater than. Do I distribute to that negative 24? Oh, I see some heads shaking. No, we do not. That's not inside of our parentheses, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay. So now we're left with what looks like a 2-step equation, something that we should be familiar with. All right. So we're going to subtract our 12. Subtract our 12. We got 4x is greater than negative 36. All right. They all need to be on Canvas too. If you need to copy them down there. All right. So we're going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. Okay, and we'll have x is greater than negative 9. Okay. Zay, take your headphones out for me. All right. So here on the graphing side, we're going to have negative 9 in the middle of our graph. Okay, we'll have open circle that goes to the right. Okay, how did I know the graph to the right? Could be 2 reasons. How did I know the graph to the right?
Because it's greater than, and it's an arrow.
Okay, that's my 2 things. Greater than automatically tells you the right. We're looking for numbers greater than negative 9, but also we could have made an arrow out of our symbol. Okay, that's 2 of the ways you could have been able to tell. All right, let's look at number 2. What do I distribute on number 2?
The 3, the 8.
The negative 3. All right, don't forget your negative. Okay, so you're going to distribute by the negative 3. The x does not get distributed, right? That's separate from this minus 3, so it drops down. Okay, so you got negative 3 times x, which is negative 3x. Okay, negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6. And then we're going to have greater than 4. All right, what do I have on my left side? They have like terms, okay, between our x and our negative 3x. We would need to combine those. So you got 1 minus 3, which is negative 2x, minus 6 is greater than 4. Okay. So we've done 2 steps. We distributed and we combined like terms, and now we're at something that's familiar to us, something that looks like a 2-step inequality, or even if you wanted to replace this with an equal sign, a 2-step equation, something that maybe we're more familiar with. Okay. So we would need to isolate, get x on the side by itself. We would do that by adding 6. Okay. And you've got negative 2x is greater than 4 plus 6, which is 10. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this up top to give myself some more room. So just rewriting this here, we got 2x, negative 2x is greater than 10. Divide what? 2. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. What happens now? You gotta flip your sign, right? Think about that alarm going off in your head. We divided by a negative, so I need to flip my sign from greater than to less than. Then you've got 10 divided by negative 2, which is negative 5. Okay. So in the middle, we've got negative 5, and which way are we graphing?
Left.
Left. Okay. What type of circle do we have?
Open.
forgot to do on one, that I just remembered to do on two. Okay, we've gotta also do our interval notation. Okay, so on number one, okay, interval notation is how far left am I going, how far right am I going?
-9.
So we're going to -9 far left, okay, but we have a
Open circle.
open circle which gets a parentheses or bracket?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. Okay, so we got parentheses, -9, and we're going all the way to
The end.
the end, which is
Infinity.
which always gets a
Negative. I
always
mean
gets
bracket.
always gets a
Parentheses.
parentheses.
Oh.
Okay, always gets a parentheses. All right, what's the furthest left number two goes?
That's it. -5.
Negative infinity.
Oh.
Negative infinity. Okay, the infinities always get parentheses. The furthest right this goes is
-5.
-5. Okay, -5 has open or closed circle.
Open.
Open, which means it gets
Parentheses.
parentheses. Okay, that's your interval notation. Any questions there? All right, let's look at 3 and 4 then. So 3 and 4, first step on 3 is to do what? Multiply, distribute that -2. Okay, so you got 7x minus 2x plus 8. Okay, less than or equal to -2. Okay, on my left side, I've got like terms, 7x minus 2x, which is 5x. The 8 drops down, so plus 8, less than or equal to -2. Subtract 8 on both sides. You've got 5x, less than or equal to -10. Next step is to do what? Divide by 5 on both sides. Okay, and you get x is less than or equal to -10 divided by 5, which is -2. Trevor, pull your mouse down. All right, -2. -2 is in the middle. All right, gets a open or closed circle. Closed, right? We have the or equal to as well. So we got a closed circle getting graphed which way? To the left. So when we think about the interval notation here, what is the farthest left that we go? Negative infinity. Okay, so we're going all the way to negative infinity. Remember, your infinities always have your parentheses. Okay, and the furthest right we go is, what's the furthest right we go? Huh?
-2.
-2.
They get a bracket
And it
because
gets
it's closed.
bracket because it's a closed circle. He's got it over there if you just want to take over so you can take notes. All right, any questions on 3?
Does it sit up when you do like that?
No.
I've seen some people you can just set it up the way.
Yeah, that's why I had asked coach.
All right, number 4, okay, what's my first step?
Oh, distribute the 8.
Distribute the -8, right?
Yeah.
Right, -8x, and then -8 times -1 is a +8. Okay, then we have our minus x, less than or equal to -28. All right, like terms on our left side, we got -x and -8x. So -8 minus 1 is -9, so -9x. All right, plus 8, less than or equal to -28. Say that again. Subtract 8 on both sides. Okay, you've got -9x is less than or equal to -36. Divide by -9. Divide by -9. And we've got x is less than or equal to, well, yep, there you go, thank you. All right, flip your sign to 4. Okay, so you got x is greater than or equal to 4. 4 is in your middle. 4 gets an open or closed circle. Closed. Okay, and get graphed which direction? Right. To the right. So the furthest left that goes is what?
Positive infinity. I mean, 4.
4, right? And 4 gets a
Per bracket.
bracket, right?
And
4
then
gets a
negative
bracket.
infinity.
And then it's going all the way to
Out.
positive infinity. Right? Right is positive infinity, left is negative infinity, okay? Think about your number line, right? This is 4, 5, 6, 7, on and on, right? This is 3, 2, 1, on and on, right? Here I might be at negative 20 or something, right?
Hey, hold this for me real quick. Hold this for me. No.
Can I see Mr. Jackson for a second, please?
See Mr.
You got some
Jackson.
recipes.
Oh.
All right, any questions on 3 or 4? We're good? Okay. Let's move on. All right, so number five, what's my first step? Or what's my goal? So we can talk about first step in a minute, but what's my goal here on number 5? What should I be wanting to try to do? Huh? I can't hear you.
X by itself.
We want, that's the end goal, right? We want X by itself.
Nah,
But what
you
do
want to
notice
flip.
about your X's?
That's what I'm about.
You got them on the other side. So what should be my first goal?
Flip it.
Is to do what? Put them all on one side together.
Oh.
Okay, so for us to do that, what makes sense to me is to move this 2x, add the 2x to the other side. Okay, so you got 6x plus 2x, which is 8x. And plus 1 is less than 9, right? That cancels. Okay? Now you're gonna subtract 1 on both sides. Okay, so we're gonna subtract 1. So you got 8x is less than 9 minus 1, which is 8. Everybody together. 9 minus 1 is? Let's try one more time. 9 minus 1 is?
8.
8, much better. Okay? Divide by 8, and there's another problem we should be able to do. X is less than 8 divided by 8, which is?
1.
1. Okay, so we got 1
It's gonna be a closed
in
circle.
the middle, okay? And it's gonna be
Next, open.
Open circle. And it's getting graphed to the
Left.
left. So, as far as going left, what's the furthest left we're gonna go? Negative infinity, so that gets a parentheses always. Furthest right is 1, which gets a parentheses because it's an open circle. Right? Open circle, parentheses, closed circle, bracket. Any questions there? All right, number 6, similar to 5. Okay, I'm gonna work this a little bit different. I've told y'all before that I kind of prefer for everything to go to the left, just out of habit. Okay, I'm gonna show one where we've got it going to the right. Because what would happen if I go to the left here is you would end up with a negative 3x, and eventually you're gonna have to divide by a negative and flip, right? So keep that in mind as I work this to the right. We'll see how it changes or if it's similar. Okay, so here, if I wanted to try to keep all this positive, right, I would have to subtract 2x, right? And this would give me negative 1 is less than or equal to 5x minus 2x, which is 3x. Add your 20. Okay, now this kind of looks backwards in our head, right? We usually see it in the other direction, okay? So let's look at what we need to do next, which is subtract your 20. Okay, you end up with negative
Right.
21 is
Right.
less than or equal to 3x. All right, so what's my next step? What's my next step? Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Okay, and you end up with negative 21 divided by 3, which is negative 7. Okay, which is less than or equal to x. Okay, does that look similar to what we've been doing? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, what's the only difference?
He just flipped.
It's it's backwards, right? It's backwards. So, notice that if I would've worked it the other way, we would've had a negative 3x, and we would've had to divide by a negative, which would've flipped our sign, right? Yes, everybody agrees there? Notice here that this is backwards, so if I want it to look normal, like what we're used to, what am I gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to put x, we're still gonna have to keep the mouth facing towards x, so now this changes to a greater than or equal to, okay, you got negative 7. So you still ended up having to flip your sign, right? Does that make sense? So that's why, in the grand scheme of things, I would rather just keep everything to the left, and just have a habit form of how to solve these. Okay, so you got negative 7 laying in the middle with a closed circle above it, and graphed to the. Right.
So, it's gonna be bracket -7, and then bracket -10, no, positive infinity.
Positive infinity, but infinities always give parentheses. Okay, bracket on that negative 7 because it was a closed circle. Any questions there? Alright, got 3 more to look at, okay, and then we're gonna move on to Khan Academy for today. Alright, so number seven, what's my first step?
Distribute the 3.
Alright.
-3.
Distribute the what? Right, distribute, what are we distributing? You said it, Les. -1.
Where?
Alright, this has an understood 1 right here.
Oh.
So this is a -1 that gets distributed in. Okay, that 3 is separate. It's just like that problem earlier where we saw it was like x minus 3, right? And we distributed just the -3. Okay, this is similar here, that this 3 is separate from this minus sign. And this minus sign acts as a negative that we're distributing in, okay? So when you distribute a -1, really all it does is change your sign, so this goes to a -2x, and a +7 is less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. Alright, so, we've got like terms on our left side, and that's gonna be -2x, -2x plus 10 is less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. Now what should I do? Add your 6x, add your 6x. I'm gonna get that on the same side as your other variable. Okay, you got 4x plus 10 is less than or equal to 34. What's next? What's next, Nick? What I gotta do here? You got some help, didn't you? You know how to do it though, right? Yeah. Alright, 4x less than or equal to 34 minus 10, which is?
24.
What do y'all have? Everybody has one on their desk, I promise you do. Except for you, yours is over there. 24. Use your calculator. Okay. So, we've got 4x
You're gonna divide by 4.
less than or equal to
And you're gonna
24.
get x is 8.
6.
Yo, 6. The trick.
Okay.
I was thinking about 8 times 4.
What would you have had to divide by to get 8?
3.
Quicker, you ain't gonna let him get you like that.
I know what?
Alright, so we got 6 in the middle, okay? We've got a open or closed circle.
Close.
Closed, right? Closed and graph to the
Right. I mean, real.
left. Alright, so the farthest left we see this graph go is
Positive. What?
is,
No. Negative infinity being positive.
and then positive 6
Right.
is the farthest right, it gets a bracket. Any questions there? Number 8, okay, number 8, first step is to distribute this -3, and we end up with -3x minus 6 minus 3x is less than 2x plus 18.
And you're gonna get the -3, positive 3, and 2x.
negative three x minus three x, so negative three minus three is negative six x minus six is less than two x plus
Do that part, I forgot.
18. Okay, then what?
Add 6 from both sides.
All right, you could do that, okay, I would rather go ahead and add two x. All right, you got negative six x plus two x, which is negative four x, minus six is less than 18.
You gonna add the 6 now.
Add the six. Okay, you got negative four x is less than 24. Now what?
You divide by negative 4.
Divide by negative four.
And the x is less than negative 6.
All right, you got the number right, but you got the variable for the six. All right, so it's gonna be x is greater than
Negative six.
negative 6, because we divided by a negative. We had to flip that inequality sign. Okay?
Alright, so then it's gonna be an open.
It'll
Going
be
to
an
the
open
right.
circle above negative 6,
It's going to the right.
going to the right. Okay, so what's the furthest left this gets?
Yeah.
Negative 6.
And then positive infinity.
And it's going all the way to positive infinity. And both of those get parentheses. We got one more problem, or actually, I'm sorry, two problems. Get your hopes up. Two problems, and we'll try to make them quick. All right. So let's look at 9 and 10. 9 and 10. All right, so distribute this negative 3. So we got 5x minus 3x minus 18 is greater than or equal to 8 minus x plus 7. Okay, so we have to distribute twice in this problem. Okay, we got like terms on the left side, and we also have like terms on the right side. Okay, so you got 5x minus 3x, 5 minus 3, which is 2, you got 2x minus 18, greater than or equal to 8 plus 7, which is 15, and then minus x. All right, so we need to add our x to get it to the left side. You got 3x minus 18 is greater than or equal to 15.
You will subtract that. Add the 18.
Add the 18. Okay, you end up with 3x is greater than or equal to 33. Get you use a calculator? That's what
Then
I'm
you're
talking
gonna
about.
divide.
All right, so you're
by
gonna
the
have, so I'm just rewriting this right here, 3x greater than or equal to 33.
Then it's 11.
Now divide by 3,
11.
and x is greater than or equal to 11. Great job. All right, so 11 in the middle with a
Close.
closed circle graph to the
Right.
right. We're getting the hang of it now, aren't we? Okay, furthest to the left we ever get
Positive
is
11.
positive 11 with a
Bracket.
bracket.
And then negative infinity. No, positive
Positive
infinity.
infinity.
With a bracket.
With a
Parentheses.
Okay. Don't be quick, be right. You know what I'm saying? All right. Last one here, okay, distribute the negative and distribute the negative 4. Okay, we get negative 3x minus 3 minus 2x is greater than negative 4x plus 8 minus 2. Very similar problem to last time. We got like terms on our left side and like terms on our right. Okay, negative 3x minus 2x, negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5, so negative 5x minus 3 is greater than negative 4x. 8 minus 2 is 6, so plus 6. Alright, now what? Alright, get your x's on the same side, so add 4x. Okay, we get negative 5x plus 4x, which is negative x minus 3 is greater than 6. Now what? Add 3. Add 3. You got negative x is greater than 9. step. Divide by,
8.
you're on the right track.
Negative 1 8.
Negative one. Negative one. Negative one.
You get negative 9.
Okay, and X,
Oh.
you'll have negative 9, and then you
You
also
flip
need
it.
to.
Less than.
To less than. We can ask up please. Alright, so you got negative 9 with a open or closed circle.
Open.
Open graph to the
Right.
left.
Sure.
Think about you. Okay. Alright, furthest left this ever gets is
Positive.
Negative 9.
negative
Infinity.
infinity. Negative infinity. Alright, furthest right is
Negative 9.
negative 9, which gets a parentheses. Alright, so that is all of the inequalities. Okay, we've talked about equations, we've talked about inequalities, and that's the base of it. That's basically all we're gonna do this unit, okay? Tomorrow is everybody's favorite day. Okay, I know you've been looking forward to it
Testing.
since we have started. That will be when we talk about word problems. I know everybody's excited, yeah?
Are we doing efficient?
Test will be Monday.
Oh,